Unlike the RSC2, the RS3 is completely compatible with most of the Tilta products that were exclusively made for the RS2. So I was wrong. The RS3 is not fully compatible with the Tilta system. It's physically compatible, but not completely compatible. So because of this, I had to get a RS3 Pro. So I've been using the RS3 Pro for about 2 weeks and the regular RS3 for just over a month. And I wanted to touch on some differences between the gimbals and something that I think is slightly overrated. I'm not going to cover all the differences. This video is more for the common run and gun creator. So if there's something I miss, it's probably because it didn't affect me and how I personally use the gimbal. So the first difference is wireless compatibility. Like I said, the Tilta system is not completely compatible with the regular RS3 because some of the Tilta products designed for the DJI gimbals are wireless controllers. I ended up getting the Tilta Advanced Ring Grip, which comes with these wireless controllers. And in order to use it with your RS3, you need to attach this receiver module to the gold pins found on the side of the RS3 Pro. The regular RS3 does not have those pins, which means the RS3 cannot take advantage of those features. The next difference is the Axis Auto Locks. Raise your hand if you thought the auto lock feature was broken on the RS3 Pro. I did. When the RS3 auto locks, it folds down exactly like how you would expect. When the Pro version locks, it locks as a slight angle. Let me demonstrate. So I got both of them looking at the camera here, so I'm gonna lock each of them at the same time. And you'll notice that this one is locked completely 90 degrees, whereas this one has a slight angle. And if you look closely, well, I don't know if you can really see it on camera, but the length of the roll axis arm can be extended quite a bit, and I can see this running into problems if you had auto lock on, because the pan axis arm and the roll axis arm could collide. But on the RS3, the regular RS3, there is enough clearance here, no matter how much you move the arm, that it won't collide. And DJI backs this up as well. According to them, this is by design to stop the arms from colliding with each other, since the RS3 Pro is meant to be used with heavier setups. This isn't a deal breaker or anything, as it's doing exactly what it was designed to do, but some people might find this aesthetically annoying to look at. The third difference is subtle until you use it, but the Pro uses carbon fiber arms compared to the plastic or metal arms on the RS3 regular. Now, I do prefer the carbon fiber arms, not because of weight, because the RS3 overall is lighter than the RS3 Pro, but because it's easier to fine tune the weight distribution when you're balancing your camera. I'm not sure how to explain it, but there is more of a slight glide when moving the carbon fiber arms, which makes precision balancing easier. Now, the one thing I think might be overrated for me and other Sony users anyways, is the Bluetooth start-stop recording feature. Yes, I know I was singing its praises in my RS3 review, and don't get me wrong, it is fantastic and a very, very welcome feature. I've used it and enjoyed it, but there's one big caveat. While using Bluetooth, the only function you can control is the movement of the gimbal and a DJI focus motor if you have one. So for me, I want to control the camera's ISO using the dial, but I can't do that because I'm using Bluetooth. I predominantly shoot weddings, and sometimes I'm in a situation where I need to boost that ISO. In order to control the ISO, I need to connect my camera to the gimbal with a cable, which will also allow me to start and stop recording from the RS3, therefore making the Bluetooth start and stop trigger feature obsolete. So to make it easier from what I mean, here's a quick demonstration on the issue I have with the Bluetooth connectivity. As you guys can see, I have my camera hooked up to the Ronin. I also have a DJI focus motor attached. So if I move the RS3 wheel, the dial, you can see that my focus motor is working, controlling the zoom of the lens. Now, if I go into the dial functions, obviously my focus motor is selected right now. If I click on ISO, you can see that my ISO can be adjusted. So just a reminder, this is my camera strictly hooked up via wire. Go into aperture, my aperture changes shutter, the exact same thing. So all the functions within the camera are working, and then obviously the movement. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to connect my camera via Bluetooth. I'm just gonna go and click connect, and now my camera is connected to Bluetooth, and this supersedes the cable connection. So keep that in mind. So if I go back to dial functions, my movement is still working. So the gimbal movement is still working, but if I click on ISO, my ISO isn't changing anymore. And this also goes towards any of the other camera functions. If I go to focus motor, my focus motor is working because the focus motor is part of the RS3 system, not my camera system. So that's essentially an issue I have, and why I probably will just keep using the wire instead of connecting via Bluetooth. It's kind of a bummer, but my goal with the RS3 has always been to rig it out with the tilted advanced grip, so I can't be that upset about something that doesn't really affect me. And a positive from not using Bluetooth is preserving my camera's battery life. Now, I recently upgraded to the FX3, and in terms of how each gimbal handles the payload, I honestly don't feel any differences in terms of smoothness. Both gimbals have these super smooth options and can be tuned the exact same ways in the Ronin app, which is awesome, by the way. One thing I highly recommend using for each gimbal is some kind of briefcase handle, because it allows you to evenly distribute your overall grip, making for those much more smoother shots. Now, if you're using a camera heavier than 6.6 pounds or want to use the wireless products that Tilta has, like me, then the RS3 Pro is the only choice for you. But if you have a camera under 6.6 pounds and don't care about the additional features designed for the RS3 Pro, then just get the regular RS3. It's a great piece of kit that will get you exactly what you want. If you're interested in more of my thoughts, click on this video for a full comparison between the RS3 and the RS-C2. Go ahead, click on it right here, right here. Just watch it. Just watch one more. What's one more?